So it's just about 6 o'clock on May 1st. Welcome to May, everyone. It's our regular select board meeting. I'm calling it to order. First thing is set adjust agenda. Do we have anything to remove from the agenda? Casey's nodding yes.
Add an additional banner application onto item number 2 for Hardwick Downtown Partnership for the Hardwick Spring Festival.
Yep. Okay, we'll just add that because we already had a
Yeah,
banner.
we'll add a second application.
If we can get through this meeting in a half an hour, I would.
I'd appreciate that too.
I can motion to approve adding the banner application for the Hardwick
I'm
Spring
kidding.
Fest.
I thought you were gonna
Second.
make a motion.
To adjourn.
No, to make a half-hour meeting.
Time limit on the
Yeah.
meeting.
All right, so we had a motion, a second to adjust the agenda. All in favor of rolling with the amended agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, communication from the audience. Rachel, can you say your name? Ann. I did that the other day.
That's right. That's okay.
I'm sorry. Can you state your name?
Yes, my name is Ann Galloway, and I'm here to make a comment. If I could.
Great. Perfect. This is the venue.
Great, okay.
Just try to get it done before 8 or
Oh, geez.
6:30. I'm just kidding.
So I have two requests.
Yeah.
One is that the select board votes on the Better Connections recommendations, please.
Oh,
And
okay.
Well,
to
they're
accept, vote to
they're
accept
not
them.
finalized yet, you know, it goes to the planning commission and then it comes back to us still.
Okay.
another
but I'd
time,
like to see a
but-
vote on that,
Vote on.
Vote on.
the recommendations,
So we just got
accepting the recommendations.
the draft document was presented,
Yep.
and then there was some back and forth with the state,
Mhm.
and there's some comments from the state that the consultants are adjusting and we're finalizing. So I think when we have a final draft,
Yeah.
we can do that process. I think it's important
Sure.
to have the final.
I just
Yeah.
want to see a vote at some point.
It would just be
Yeah.
premature, yeah,
Vote to
right
do
now.
what?
To accept the recommendations.
What's that mean?
That means that you accept them and consider them in the near future, should money become available. And that's, you know, we don't know, we don't know if
It's not
something
like
can
final
be
yet.
again in the
Yeah,
future,
no.
but I think it'd be nice to consider that. That's my
Okay.
first
Yep.
request.
Yep.
Here's my
Duly
second
noted.
request.
Yep.
My second request is that the select board develop a plan to repair the hazardous sidewalk in East Hardwick in front of the O'Brien's house and the post office. At this point, a little kid could step in a hole there and break an ankle, and then the town would be liable. So I'd like to see you guys come up with a plan and execute it this summer.
Yeah,
Those are my two requests.
sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So the second request, I think.
Yeah,
Ends with you.
We've talked about it,
Okay, good.
and I think there's a plan in place to spend some time in East Hardwick.
Good. Good.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Um,
Thank you for letting me speak.
Of course.
You
And
can
that was
keep-
quick, see?
You can keep.
You were quick. That's good. We like that.
Anything
Well
else
before 6.
while you're here?
There is one more thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Let us have it.
Back to the roads, there's a really serious drop off at the new culvert just below my house at 1055 Hardwick Farms Road. I think it's really close between my house and Bob McClellan's old house. It's really hazardous, like if you got too close to it, your car would go in the ditch. Like it's a serious like 10-foot drop. So I don't know if there's any repair that could be done there, but it looks pretty dicey.
Okay.
So, just saying.
That was fixed the other day, so.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it just
okay.
that, it looks
Great.
wide open now after the flood and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does, I mean, right now it almost looks like it could use guardrails around it.
Really good.
Because it's all wide open, the trees are all gone now, so it's all kinda like a wide open ditch now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could really, like, if your car went out there, it'd be bad. So, yeah, that's what I was
It might not be the worst thing to see if we have an extra guardrail, 'cause just thinking about the Laguses and the speed on that road sometimes, like, it's kind of a tight spot. I don't know if you have an extra length of it or what, but.
Okay, now we're
Get
fine.
any over
Okay.
garden.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up. Oh wait. Anybody else? Any other communication from the audience? Anybody here to discuss anything not on our agenda? All right, rolling along, next is select board, we have a bunch of minutes, a flotilla of minutes. We have minutes from a regular select board meeting on April 17th, minutes from a special select board meeting on April 22nd, and another special meeting on April 24th.
I can motion to approve those minutes as written.
Second.
Any discussion about the minutes? That they look good? All in favor of approving all those minutes as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstention. And so motion carries. Great. Thank you. Next, town manager report given by Mr. Upson.
Okay, so basically the last 2 weeks, been doing a lot of project management. Senior Center, we got new heat up there in the addition, so we can discontinue the use of that oil air handler.
Was there a separate heating system for the
Yes,
other end?
and it was pumping oil up into the attic at 90 psi. So this was a part of the beginning stage of our MERP work.
Yep.
So we're going to be able to we're getting off of the fuel oil.
Yep.
And then we'll be installing some heat pumps in there.
Okay.
But we had to, with the heat pump system, we have to have a backup system.
Yep.
So we ran baseboard from the boiler for the building into the addition. It was,
I didn't realize. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize there were two separate heating systems.
Yeah,
That were
yeah. I think when the addition was done, there was no such thing as PEX, but PEX makes it a lot easier to run baseboard now.
Yeah.
So that we've got new carpeting in there for a grant, Vermont Community Foundation grant. So we had to move a bunch of stuff and get the carpeting in. And there was 4 offices we did in the PD. So just coordinating that, along with the new electrical service that was damaged in the storm 2 years ago. We had an outstanding insurance claim, so we got that done. So the senior center, the PD building, the community space up there has gotten some attention with grant funds that we've been needing to spend. The townhouse project, there was some existing conditions with some electrical and some heat vent that we had to meet with the electrician, kind of figure out. I think we've got a plan forward up there because we're moving a door to have access to the balcony. So there was some coordination that had to be done with that. And then there's another project that the town clerk is heading up with the vault door in the basement of the memorial building. They've done a good job contacting concrete cutting companies, and we've finally had one company show up to look at it. What I'm asking is, it's going to be a little hard to get 3 concrete companies here to look at the cutting, and we might just get one number. So we're going to we'll consider that when it happens. We haven't gotten a number in, so just putting that on your radar. We want to get that done. It's kind of a messy job.
Yeah.
And then I've got some announcements with grants. So the municipal planning grant for the flood resiliency plan for the Granite Street Historic District, and the amount of $30,000 was granted from the state, which is, I think it was the highest amount that was granted. And then the downtown transportation fund did grant us the $200,000 for the bridge.
Yay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then moving forward with that, with the Ped Bridge project, we had a pretty good call with USDA today. Got some guidance on just a few items that we need to get a notice to award. Once we give the notice to award to CCS, they'll give us a notice to proceed after a meeting with the contractor and USDA and us. So we're getting that together. We need a little bit from our town council as well. So we should be moving in a good direction with that project.
So in our last meeting, you said one of the USDA grants was in danger of being run
Clawed
out of
back.
time.
So they haven't gotten an answer back to us yet, about whether or not we can use money spent on soft costs. If we can seek reimbursement with that community facilities grant. I think Casey tallied up what we've spent so far, and it's about $200,000.
187.
187. So
So
if we can submit that for reimbursement, which they're working on,
Then we could spend it.
that's going to be huge. Yeah.
And we would still have to then spend our 100 because we're gonna shift
Sure,
that money to the
sure.
grant, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
This
one
would be a
half dozen
way
the other.
to spend those grant funds faster
Yeah.
to
Because
satisfy
it's
the.
five, we've got 30 days. It's the end of this month.
So I thought it had been extended till August though.
That's
The
the
CFG one did,
Oh.
and
That's the
that
other
one
one.
will be able to be extended further. That isn't what I was told by our rep. He
Right.
had told me, and I had it in an email, but apparently, I don't know if he wasn't sure. He's gone now. I mean, ultimately, it's neither here nor there. It was inaccurate. It was 3 years is the max,
Yeah.
and so it's 531 on the RBDG. But we do have longer. I think it's 5 years on the CFG, so we
Yeah.
have more
And-
time on that one.
So
and they'll
if-
extend that past August.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's 8/8, but they'll go beyond that.
Yeah.
So in a scenario where they won't allow us to seek reimbursement for the money we've spent,
Yes.
would it be possible, is it possible that timing could work that we could get a contract with CCS?
Well, our dollars have to be spent. Their dollars have to be spent last. So they're going to have to come up with something, and I'm hopeful that they will.
Okay, all right,
So
okay.
this is just another one of those big public projects that it's like stop, go,
Yeah, yeah.
and we just gotta. I think we're in the final stretch, and
Great.
we're gonna get it done. And then we had a better roads. V-Trans contacted us. They had some money available for a road erosion inventory update, and they requested that we apply for the funds. So we applied for $8,000 for a road erosion inventory update. So we're gonna do that.
Just an update.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's all I got for now. There's more, but
Yeah. Great, thank you. Questions for,
moving and shaking.
yeah, sounds it.
Yeah.
Anything on the trailheads?
We have, we're requesting bids from contractors.
Yeah.
I gave a few of the proposals to the rec committee to hand out, and then if anybody that you guys can think of a contractor, I can reach out to. I'm gonna hit all the local ones.
Okay.
Just kind of a small construction outfit with a small excavator and a dump truck.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Next up, road foreman report. Tom, tell us what you and your crew have been up to.
Let's see. Last week we ended up finishing up grading Cape Brook Road, West Woodbury end. You know, part of our deal that, you know, we do with them twice a year. So we were up there grading their end. We ended up doing West Hill down through Tucker Brook, Smith Farm, Town Farm. We finished up the Stage House, Bailey Hazen, up toward Dimmock Road, Ward Hill, Mount View, and part of Hardwick Farms today is what we got graded so far. Of course, the rain's beating us out anyways. That's staying pretty well ahead of us. Like the lady mentioned there, that washout, we ended up bringing some stone there, fixing the one at the intersection of Montgomery Road, and we had one down on Bailey Hazen Road that we had to fix and repair. We've been cleaning the lawns downtown and stuff. We got the Peace, I think that's called Peace Park, right?
Yeah.
Next to Gazette. We got that all cleaned up today and finished that out. We got the PD cleaned all along the riverbank, the parking lot, the firehouse. Then we went down by the rail trail, by the sewer plant, got everything picked up down there. Got that cleaned up. We did manage to get in one crosswalk today. It'd be nice if the weather would start out at 40 degrees instead of 20. But we did the longest one, the one right next to the laundromat, since kids cross there a lot. So we threw that in this afternoon. We'll just keep plucking away at them as weather permits and stuff. We still got a couple more lawns to do, clean up and stuff. Next week we'll probably start mowing because it looks like grass is coming up quick. Then we got the banners. Some more downtown cleaning to do. Sweeper, I talked to him. He should be here in 2 weeks for that. And that's about it, besides working with Kenny and doing a bunch of other small stuff for Oak and stuff around, so.
We did get, I believe before our last meeting, we got the bank of the lagoon along the fence line cleaned out. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go see that. There's a kind of a flood mitigation project, future flood mitigation project down there. And then another update, we discovered when they were cleaning out the triangular park there in Main Street, there's a sinkhole starting to form behind that wall. And if you look, you can see the wall tipping out.
Yeah.
So we got some,
So that's why we put the
Caution tape
yellow
there.
ribbon up. I don't know.
I was wondering what that was about.
Yeah.
Where? Right by the swimming bridge.
in between the diner and the bridge.
So that wall really is
And you can see,
having problems.
you can see the, where the wall is pulling away from the dirt. And then there's some cracking going on.
So probably a good thing we're scheduling a
Yeah.
construction project.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wall.
Do we need to put something like Jersey barriers or something just to keep, I
I
know,
wouldn't
I know
wanna
more,
put any
more
weight.
weight probably
Doesn't
doesn't,
want to put more
probably
weight
doesn't
on it.
help, but
The two, we'll just keep an eye on the two caution tapes and make sure
Okay.
that they stay up.
You might want to announce that. I've heard some question, like people thinking
Yeah.
it was not knowing what it was for.
I just did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Great. Well,
We
I'm
could-
saying not everyone watches the meeting.
Well, they
you know,
should.
it's like,
They should do their civic duty. and
They
watch the
should, but
meeting.
we could also
Right.
do
Yes, of course.
laminate a little sign.
Yeah,
maybe put it out on that
Laminate a
fancy
sign.
Hey, we
that
did
says-
something, it's caution tape.
yeah.
If you can read the word caution in the yellow tape, that
Yeah.
means.
It's like the
Stay
same thing
away.
with speed limit signs and stop
Right.
signs, like,
Yeah, that's,
Is that wood stove hot? Oh, Jesus, I burned myself.
yeah,
that's the other thing we did. We ended up going around putting up some more signs and stuff and
yeah.
straightening out some. Got all the ones that got ran over this year and we still got a few more left to do. But we did get your signs out
Finally
of
got
that share,
overnight, no
so
overnight
hopefully they're
parking
okay.
signs on Depot Street, hooray.
yeah.
And there's flags ordered, I think, I saw on the, so you ordered some more flags.
Those are all the cemetery flags, they're the ones that go in
Oh.
the cemetery.
Are we looking at the flags that go up, because there were some rough, there were
I know
some
we
in
got quite
rough
a
shape.
few new ones last year.
Okay, okay.
But we'll look at what we got, so.
We do have a new banner coming that's a spring banner, so sometime next week, I hope to hear from the printers down in Rutland.
Well, it's gonna be summer soon,
So
so.
if you wanna like try to coordinate when you put the
Yeah,
flags
when
up
the
with the
flags and that
banner.
go up, that would be good.
Yeah, so I'll keep you posted on
Yeah.
when that's coming in.
Excellent. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
I'm hopeful that CCS is gonna be out there, setting up a construction site and then people will know not to go through.
Right.
Right?
People will still wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we saw that, what, Monday? Or was it Wednesday? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, when we went and started cleaning around there.
Oh, yeah.
Cause the dirt was all
Yeah.
sunk in and then the wall looked, yeah, it was.
Wow. All right, next up, police department report given by Mike Henry.
So we're getting an intern that's coming in to help us out with some stuff, just volunteer type stuff. She's in a program at Norwich and is looking for an internship. So we're gonna have her working on some of the stuff that we're really behind on, as well as she's gonna be doing ride-alongs, that type of stuff, with us. So we've got that going on. We're doing a lot of planning as far as some of the events coming up. We've got the event with Bernie. I don't know if that's been publicized or anything like that.
Not really.
That's up to their office.
Yeah, that's up to their office, but they're gonna be up at the Hazen Union on the
Tenth, right?
17th.
17th. So we're trying to plan for that. We'll also have, Memorial Day parade, all those festivities going on, so just in the planning stages with a lot of stuff right now.
We got you covered.
They do have stuff.
All right, good.
One way.
Questions for Mike? All right, thank you. Next is item 1, select board to consider approving liquor license for the new owners of Positive Pie. So this is just, that we have, there is a liquor license for Positive Pie, but because there were new owners.
New owners, Michael Drake, who came tonight.
Hi.
So it will be a new license for first, third class and outside consumption.
Great.
What kind of characters is that?
So, so is
Let's hear a
this,
little bit about
do
it.
you only
Yeah,
own
I
the
hear
Hardwick one, or do you own other
No,
locations?
ma'am, all three, but we have 4 other alcohol licenses in the state. So
Right.
we're experienced operators, safety, good restaurant, nice atmosphere, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can motion to approve a liquor license for the new owners of Positive Pie Inc. First class and third class, right? Is that right? Inside and outside consumption.
Second.
More discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Appreciate you coming.
Of course, thank you.
Meet you all at some point.
Yeah. All right. Where am I? Item 2, select board to consider approving a banner application for the Hardwick Farmers Market and a second banner for Hardwick Downtown Partnership banner
I don't have the,
on behalf of Springfest.
I didn't get the second one.
I have.
There are lots of copies here.
I
I guess you're keeping
I
it.
still need
I don't need it.
Are these in the same, this is in a different location for the one, so there are 2 locations on Wolcott Street.
There are 2,
And
yeah.
it looks like this one is for the one, the Springfest is for the one at Tops,
Or near Tops.
or location near downtown Hardwick,
Looks like it's for either, whatever's
or
open.
other location. Jan, what does that mean, other location?
This is my first time going through this. I mean, you and I talked about this. I know there are these 2 ones that you've established.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any other possibilities, but hardware is needed. But
okay,
my apologies for not getting this in sooner or finding out more. But that location would be fine. We thought we might talk with the farmers market about, because I think theirs is going to be up all season,
mhm.
and ours is just going to be up for a few weeks. So I thought we might talk about putting ours up at that location. But
So-
I'm not sure if that needs your.
Do we get one for the second location? Does the craft fair put?
Is that kind of-
Yeah, but
No,
that's
there's
usually
no-
later on,
that's not
like in
until the fall.
October.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like 5 or 6 different locations that the banners can go. Like we've had as
Oh,
many
really?
as 4 up. We can do some on Main Street and Wolcott Street.
Really?
There's spots on both.
Yeah, they just haven't been used in a
Yeah.
long time.
Oh, I say we put banners up
So-
everywhere.
Oh, okay.
No, but like there's times when we have
Is there a
circus
billboard
markets,
law in the
farmers
state of Vermont?
market, like we've
There's
had
not.
3
Yeah.
or 4 up at a time.
These aren't
I
billboards,
thought
they're
we had
banners.
2.
You thought what?
I thought we only had 2 locations and they were both on Wolcott Street.
No, I've
There's one on Main Street too.
Oh, I know.
Hang on, let's bring
Haven't
it.
used it in a
Bring it
while.
out.
Yeah, we have, it's
Bring
just
the
gavel,
because
use the
we
gavel.
haven't had-
Come on, use the gavel. Yeah,
Buy
finally.
it.
Jeez.
Jeez, I can hear what's going on.
I've been waiting for that.
One at a time.
Over banners.
Well,
Jan wants something.
It's
I
great.
know. So I think
Oh.
Sherry.
Baby steps.
And Casey were trying to say that there are other places that just haven't been used in a
Yeah.
while.
They just
Correct,
haven't
it's
been
just
used.
we haven't really had more than 2 up at once, because some are for a couple weeks, so I think farmer's market's the only one that's all season, so
And-
that's why they're staggered.
And the electric department does the banners for all of these?
Correct.
Okay.
I say I need to
So-
identify these locations. I'm so excited.
So hang
It's great.
Me too.
Settle
'cause I
down.
thought we
You're
were
gonna-
Hang
we
on.
only
We're
had
gonna go
one.
overtime.
So Jan, you had your hand up?
I wanted to defer to your experience regarding like visibility and whatnot, but if invisibility was not an issue, just because this is the first year that we're doing this downtown street fair, I thought it would be nice to put a banner on
Downtown,
South Main Street.
Downtown.
yeah.
South Main Street or North Main Street?
South Main Street, where the traffic is. But it's good, because the street fair will be on South and North Main Street, so it'll be concentrated on North.
Okay.
All right, so.
I would make a motion
Thank
to
you.
approve
That's
the,
the streets.
to approve both applications for banners, and for the Springfest one, I would suggest giving the town manager authority to put it where he sees fit.
There we go.
Don't let it go to your head.
No, I won't. We'll find it. We'll find a good
The
spot.
power.
So we have a motion.
Second.
More discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That means it won't get done till
Thank you.
October, but I'll still give it a try.
Sounds good, so you
Then it's on you.
guys will figure it out. All right, so next is item 3, select board to consider providing a letter of support for the civic standard for cultural facilities grant with Vermont Arts Council and authorize the town manager to sign the letter. We did have a sample letter in our packet, and it looked like this is basically the funding is for an accessible bathroom. And could you clarify what building that's going in?
So it would be going in the current Flower Basket building, which we're under contract right now to buy.
Great. Can you tell me your name?
Maria Amador.
So, I totally missed a whole bunch of this story in between. FEMA buyout, Gazette building.
Oh, there's a lot.
That's
Well,
not on the agenda.
We should have, well,
Not on the agenda.
then,
I'm just giving you a hard time. Carrie.
Why don't we ask Rose for an update, because she's here?
I would
Or-
think there
or-
needs to be
I
some.
need-
She's in the audience.
I know, but I mean,
You can ask the question. Now's the time.
Did you know the flower
it
basket was for
changes things
sale?
if you're in a whole different other side of the street. So, yeah, we should probably hear some sort of update.
Yeah, so we're continuing to move everything, all possibilities forward at the same time until something doesn't work. And so we are trying to start, figuring out the foundation of the current building. But there's a lot of what ifs on that. And we're also finding that it might not be the space we want to be in anymore. And so we're keeping in the buyout program. We're trying to figure out funding to fix the foundation. And we're also trying to figure out how to move across the street. Knowing that any of these possibilities is gonna, at some point, or we're gonna have to decide which one of them is our final path forward. So we're under contract with 39 South Main. The reason that we're coming to you for this before we own it is because it's a kind of a unique grant. There's not many funding sources like this for this kind of work, and we'd have to wait a whole other year. And a big part of why we want to move is because we want to be accessible. So our very first priority would be to put an ADA bathroom into that main floor. So the timing is funky, and it's a stretch, and we don't know. There's a lot of we don't know. But obviously, if we don't get the grant, no harm, no foul. And if we don't end up buying the building, we're obviously not going to get the grant.
Or
So-
if you get the grant and you do you can
So I
always
can't-
say, sorry, we can't use
Yeah.
the grant, and.
Well, I
and
can't
give it
imagine
back.
you're gonna get, no offense, I can't imagine you're gonna get the grant because you're gonna.
They're not
have to-
reviewing it until our closing.
Oh,
So if we do close, it'll be in time.
But it's the
And it's just a
timing,
letter.
it's all about timing.
It's funky timing stuff.
It doesn't really affect us.
so, you're gonna all be surprised by this, but I have different views on things.
Let's hear him, Danny.
Yeah.
This is your time.
Make sure you speak
I
into
don't know if I
the mic.
want to
Come on.
offend people with my
It's okay.
thinking, but, no,
Those are my favorite opinions.
So that's up to you.
yeah, great effort, but I don't think that's a great way to move forward because you're putting yourself in a competitive grant application cycle. That there's, grant cycles are only so long and so big, and it just, I've been on a lot of ranking committees and done a lot of this stuff, and I
I'm not
think
sure what you're saying.
you don't have a very good plan. You just kind of, everywhere. You need to focus
So
on,
this grant is for an ADA compliant bathroom
right,
in a cultural facility.
yep,
So if we move
Maybe.
our headquarters,
maybe,
no, that's what the grant application is for.
Mhm.
So if we move our headquarters to 39 South Main and we want to have an accessible bathroom, that's what this grant would be covering. It's not, this grant is not for, is the civic standard going to stay in their building or move or save the foundation
Right,
or
I
not?
understand.
It's just for this one bathroom.
I understand.
Rose, how much is the grant for?
It's,
A maximum of
it's,
30,000.
yeah, it's a matching grant. The final numbers aren't in because we need 2 estimates and we're waiting for those back.
It's 50/50, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Danny, while
Yeah, it's reimbursement.
I hear and understand your feedback and criticism, and I think it can be revisited. However, with this thing, this doesn't really affect their other plans. This is just,
I understand that.
so this doesn't harm us,
Right.
potentially benefits them.
Right.
But what you're saying too, Rose, is that it's not necessarily, so I've received this grant before as a nonprofit specifically for electric work in a specific building that the nonprofit didn't own. We were renting, so it was a partnership and they helped pay for it. So it's not necessarily building
Ownership, right.
specific or ownership specific, so there's, just wanna mention that.
Does anyone want to make a motion about?
I will make the
Support.
motion that we write a letter of support, or should we have the town
Authorize the
manager
town
to?
manager to sign.
Authorize the town manager to sign a letter of support from the select board.
Yep.
Danny.
Does anyone want to second that?
I can second that.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor of providing a letter of support for the civic standard, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining?
I'm not gonna abstain, I can tell you that.
Is that it?
Yes
Is
or no. I said no.
Okay, all right. So, the ayes have it, motion carries, thank you, and thanks for coming.
Sometimes I just don't.
That's fine.
Things to-
Yeah,
you know.
then you should vote no, which you,
I'm not against the civic standards.
we hear you.
Just,
Are you against that building?
no, I'm for that building. I'm against the old building. No, I'm for it. It's just,
But that's what we're
I'm
trying to do.
I just, no, you're fine. I'm good with it. I just.
You know what, I just wanna understand, because we are trying to move out of
Right,
this building.
I guess it's a lot for me. I didn't, you know,
Yeah,
I.
For me too, because when I looked at it, I'm like, wait, what building is this?
Right, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize there was a second building, and so maybe we should do a better job of bringing the select board up to speed before meetings, so we know what things on the agenda are gonna be about.
Although it was, if you read it through.
Right, but it
And
doesn't
you-
say what
I knew
building.
this was
It
gonna get
does.
turned back
There's
to
an
me.
address,
There's an address.
and I Googled it to see
Well,
which building it
Jesus,
was.
I mean, for $1,000 a year.
I'll
I think
fall
I
on
put
the
in enough
sword.
Time.
I'll fall on the
Be
sword.
Googling addresses.
You haven't come to see me.
Danny, maybe you should go to a community dinner and talk to them.
Okay. So,
I should.
one bit of feedback though that I think is, I think I do tend to agree with Danny that it might be time to just decide on a path for the civic standard to decide on
but
a
that's
path.
what we're doing.
They're very
Okay,
close
good.
to that.
I mean, I don't know if you guys
So you're
read
tied
the
to the
notes
building.
or
I understand
heard
you-
about the meeting on Monday that we had here about the old
Yeah.
building.
30 people, probably.
So we're trying to figure out if there's somebody in town who would like to help save that old building.
Right.
Because it's not what our organization does.
Right.
And we're in the buyout program, but we don't want to be responsible for taking down the oldest building on Main Street if there's
Yeah.
people in the town who want to save it.
So-
So we're putting it out there, hey, there's some funding available, do you want to work with us to save this building? Meanwhile, we're trying to extricate ourselves and find a new location.
Yeah,
It's a lot of moving pieces.
So I do understand that you're stuck with the old building to deal with. Yes, I'm with you on that. I'm just,
And
my whole thought
This-
process is.
the
was
possibility of
I know. Me
and the
too.
possibility of a new ADA bathroom
You have no
in a
idea.
building on Main Street is going to increase the value of the building and increase the tax revenue possibly.
So I'm not against them. I think moving across the street is an excellent idea. I would support that 100%.
That's your
the
idea,
biggest
right?
problem I had with the old building was is that
you
your,
say?
you
That's
know,
your
your
idea.
presentation you gave us before was spot on. You know, you guys aren't a historic building saving organization. And that building isn't really good for what your cause is, so I support what you're up to. It's just this didn't,
I know, this one came at us a little fast. Sorry
I
about
think, well,
that.
what's his name? He knew what he was doing when he gave you guys that building, so he did.
Yeah. I'm gonna donate it back to the town.
Oh, boy.
Don't pay your taxes.
All right,
Oh my
She does it
god.
anyway, she's a nonprofit.
okay, so next item four, select board to discuss East Hardwick recommendations that came out of the Better Connections presentation, and I think this is, item that you wanted to talk
Yeah,
about, so do you
so-
wanna lead us off?
Yeah, sure. So it's already brought up in public comment, but I think after the last meeting, we got the presentation from Better Connections.
Mhm.
There wasn't a ton of feedback from other select board members about that.
Mhm.
So I think if we're going to be getting if we're going to be getting another edit, it'd be really nice to hear from select board members. Maybe there was Tracy or somebody talked about a task force to potentially include a select board member or somebody from the town. I think to move it forward, having
You
us be a
mean to
little bit
move
more
forward on
involved.
implementing the suggestions?
Not
suggested
necessarily
changes? No?
implementing, but I
That's
think to, one of the things that Danny was talking about during the comments, like, in terms of accepting, what does that mean?
Mhm.
What are we
Right.
accepting immediately? Like, saying, one of the recommendations was acknowledging that Eno is an important organization for East Hardwick. That's not gonna cost us any money, right? That's just a decision. So I'm wondering if we can take some time before the final version to say, like, what's the low hanging fruit that we can say, yes, we're gonna accept this? And then all the people who worked on that project can feel like we're actually moving forward. And then for the bigger projects, we can then assign a task force or say, okay, this is, we wanna really look at the water and sewer, which is probably the biggest, like the runoff, Main Street and East Hardwick.
Stormwater.
The stormwater, excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
The stormwater is probably the biggest project, and it's super complicated. So how are we gonna come together as a town to move that forward? So I don't know if there's like an action, as simple as like, here's the action, we're just gonna do it in one meeting for the final, if that makes sense. But like, I think it'd be nice to have other select board members look at it, identify what are the areas that we can say, yes, let's go ahead and create action for, and what are the areas that we can continue to work on and then decide at a later date, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So we don't have to do anything right now.
Okay. Got it.
But once we get that draft, I think it'd be great to,
The final, yeah.
Yeah.
Final.
So, I kind of am concerned about doing something like that, because what then that becomes is a tool to push those projects forward, is what, and we see it with, we have a couple of things happening in town right now that it keeps being brought up to us that, the pedestrian, whatever it was, task force made all these recommendations and we accepted it, and it continually comes back to us and we continually don't do nothing about it. And now we're gonna create another one of these tools for, for the select board to be promising things that we're not providing. And we've got a long list of stuff that we've already committed to do, and we are not doing any of it. So my concern is we're just adding to that. It's gonna get people like you folks certain, I understand your concern with East Hardwick, but it's gonna be you're gonna have the expectation that we pass something that's gonna move this forward. And the fact of the matter is, things have to fall into line. And we have sidewalks in town that we've talked about, and we've had, we've got all the issues that you guys talk about in East Hardwick and the village of Hardwick as well. So, and we've already got a study or we've accepted on them, and we haven't done nothing about it.
I fully hear you, Danny, and I don't.
Can I just, to say that we haven't done anything as a community, I don't think is accurate. Because we have the planning commission did a walking audit on Mill Street, for example.
Okay, I'm not arguing about
I'm not
doing nothing.
Danny,
okay?
Danny.
No, we don't need a long discussion about not doing nothing.
I just want to explain
We're
something.
not doing-
Can I explain
Oh,
something?
enough.
I just want to explain something.
Yes, you're gonna tell me how good you're doing, I know.
I'm gonna what?
Nothing.
I'm just saying that there's paths that we need to follow, and they take a while. So we get a walking audit, we accept the recommendations, we go out and get a transportation alternatives grant to hire a consultant to look at Mill Street. That's a path. And I think that this Better Connections program is from the state of Vermont, 3 big agencies in the state of Vermont that have invested their time and energy into this village in East Hardwick, which I think we're very fortunate to have had. And there are things in here that we should be putting in our capital planning, that we do not have a capital plan. And yes, there are things in this village that have been deferred and deferred and deferred. There are things all over town that have been deferred. Whether you accept the recommendations or not, we're making improvements every day. When people show up to the select board, we're making improvements. We're coming together as a community, and for the select board, a member of the select board to say that we're not doing anything. We're all collectively doing something every day. We're living here together. And so, like, let's celebrate that.
So I would also, thanks Sophie.
Tim has his.
I mean, I don't hear Danny saying that we're not doing anything, and
I'm not.
and no, but I mean, it just in defense of that, and it's like, and I agree with what you're saying too, but then like, and I see both of these sides where there's a criticism of kind of just like doing the surface level, like, yes, we agree and we accept all of this, and then nothing really getting done, whereas I would like to be more action oriented and say, what are the biggest priorities in this that are addressing safety concerns, and we put them on the, you know, the capital planning list, and we you know, we earmark those for projects over the next 1, 2, 5 years, whatever. But, you know, do we have to agree to the whole thing that is maybe just a bit of, you know, feel good, you know, over discussing something? Please.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I applaud you all for the work you've done in town of Hardwick. I mean, I've lived here since 1988, and my husband grew up here, and the town has, I mean, everything has improved dramatically. From the people who are around this table to the infrastructure you put in place, it's very impressive. And I think that I you know, East Hardwick is a little forgotten, and that would be okay, except we're all paying taxes in that village, and there's not a lot to show there in terms of some pretty simple improvements. Would, you know, it would cost something, but would it be on the scale of the swinging bridge, or would it be on the scale of all the street work you guys have done, or would it be on the scale of, you know, any number of things, the library, whatever. I think, you know, in that context, if we're planning out 10 years, because that's probably what it would take, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And the people in the village deserve to be, you know, recognized as being a part of this community. And that's why I'm asking. I would actually like to see the plan. Like, I'm hoping that, you know, you'll announce as part of your select board meeting in the near future what the plan is for cleaning up that one particularly bad bit of sidewalk, which is an absolute hazard. And it's been that way for 30 years, okay? I've never seen any improvements made to East Hardwick by this town. Not one. And that's gotta change. And I don't think that I don't think Eno or people who live in the village are asking for too much. I think we have been patient and reasonable, and so, you know, I hope that you'll move something forward that's patient and reasonable. We know it's gonna take time. There's some quick fixes maybe we could do, but, you know, that bridge is gonna have to be replaced. It's in fair condition, which worries me a lot, because we have some really heavy trucks going through that village every 3 to 5 minutes on some days. And, you know, they're going straight up through the village, the end past, you know, all the buildings in town, and everything shakes. So that bridge is pretty vulnerable. So we're gonna have some kind of plan in place for the village. And it should probably be an all-in-one thing with the reconstruction of the bridge at the same time. But I think it's important to be fiscally conservative, because, you know, money isn't endless. I'm all for that. But it's been a long time since anything's been done in that village.
So, I think I hear a lot of the same, I think people have a lot of the same sentiments, and then I'm hearing, like, I mean, I definitely hear what Danny's saying about we approved something and then people bring it back and say you approved it, and, you know, why isn't it done? And the reason it's not done is because there's a process where we just can't fund everything that we'd like to fund locally. And so to get bigger funding from state and federal sources, we have to follow a process that often involves a lot of planning. It involves things like this Better Connections report to help get you started, and like, then you can say, well, this was identified in this report, and then so now we can use that to leverage a grant to get the engineering done on a project, and then you can use that to, you know, go to bid and get more funding. And And I also hear, you know, when you say nothing has been done or nothing's been done in East Hardwick, I mean, I do think that's a bit of hyperbole, but I also take the message, overall.
I would just,
When was the last time there was a major public works project in East Hardwick? What year was that?
Well,
Because I don't know when it was.
I don't know if there's a major public works project, but I know that there has been work in East Hardwick, so.
So it's essentially a residential, village is all it is. It's not, I mean, the sidewalk on Macville and Wolcott Street is used to go to the elementary school. You go South Main Street, you can't even walk down that sidewalk. It's been that way, I was born since '63.
So
So,
can I just add to what Opie was
You
saying?
know what,
about
that's my
capital?
point is, we're just adding to the pile, is all we're doing.
So
Well,
can I just quickly jump in really quickly?
yeah,
I'd like to just
Okay.
say that I think you're right, we're adding to the pile, but I think what Opie has said is important too, that we need to organize our pile, find the things that are most important, prioritize them, put them on a capital plan. And so that it's not so haphazard, and so that things that, like areas that are traveled to the school, for example, probably should get priority.
I think so. I agree with Danny. I think
Yeah.
that's a very important project.
Yeah.
Kids are
But-
walking down from Macville. So I'm not asking for
To
East
take
Hardwick
that
to
away.
be ahead of that.
Right.
I'm just saying it should be on the list.
I am-
Correct, and I think that's why, I think we're all kind of
We're all
doing
saying the same thing, I'm just saying the list is too big.
Yeah.
If
And
the
I-
list is really big.
we can't get overwhelmed by it though, because this
We
is
gotta
where,
pick the things we can
yeah,
tackle.
like
and
let's,
we gotta
we're gonna get through the
prioritize.
list. It might take us 100 years, but we're gonna get
Okay,
through it.
approve the plan, let's move on.
I do want to say one thing on the record. I do want to say one.
That was
Can I
all.
just
Trying to
say,
get me to
because
say.
I've been pushed to the side a couple times.
Yeah,
Just
no,
wanna
no,
say
sorry.
before
Yes.
Grant, thank you.
Tom.
So I think, just to reiterate what I said before, one of the great things about the Better Connections process and the recommendations is they're not all huge.
Mhm.
They don't all
Yeah.
cost money.
Yeah.
So I think we need to identify the ones that don't cost money and take action on those, because then we can just say, once there's a final draft, then we can say, thank you for all your work, and then it feels really good to the people who did the work, that we actually did something. Okay?
Okay.
That one thing as an action forward. We talked last year, the year before, about having a sidewalk plan similar to the paving plan. So that way we know, okay, for the next 10 years, these are the 10 sidewalks that we're gonna work on. We're putting X amount of money into, we already are putting money into sidewalks for capital planning. The trick is actually figuring out how to do it, right? So if we have a schedule that's, okay, this is the sidewalk plan for the next 10 years and Macville is 2 years away, then we're also saying, or whatever.
Right, I understand.
Then we're also saying,
I-
okay, we're at least planning for it, right? And that's what you were saying, Opie, is like, and what everybody's really saying is like, our taxpayers don't necessarily know that we're planning for it unless they can see that, right? Unless they can see, oh, there's a sidewalk plan, oh, there's a whatever. So it's like, if it's just up to us to talk at the meetings, then it's not really, doesn't feel real.
Or if they come to the meeting, which thank you for
Right.
coming and voicing that concern, right?
Yeah.
We can come and voice that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think as evidence of the last 2 years as well, is we can plan for it, and even like when we're looking at the truck capital plans, like we don't know what that's gonna cost in 10
Sure.
years. And we don't know whether there's gonna be another flood or if our main street's gonna fall into the river, you know, like, so we do have to look at those priorities, and that's where I'm hesitant to say, this is our 10-year plan, we're gonna do all these major developments, but I agree, Kaylee, that fixing some of these things that either don't cost money or can cost a little bit that we can plan for, great idea.
Well, it's also about communication. So if you have your plan and every year at town meeting you're communicating about that plan, then it's okay. Like, as long as you're informing people, everybody knows that there are obstacles, and God only knows the floods of the past 2 years, what a stress around town. And on you all. I mean, that's been huge. It's been so hard, right?
So a lot of that plan is in the town report, and I appreciate that. And we had more discussion over $2,000 appropriations this year than we did over our $4.5 million budget. So it's like, I'd be happy to talk more about that, and I think that's an important thing. So again, I'm grateful that you are here talking about it, and I invite more people to. But that's, we can only communicate so much where whether or not they listen or whether or not they want to participate. So.
One more. I just want to say, I want to push back on one thing. And this is, I hear it a lot about from people from East Hardwick. And they're really from Hardwick, okay? The town does a lot for East Hardwick. This Better Connections is evidence of that.
Mhm.
We supplied a water system operator to the fire district at $50 a quarter. We are available for East Hardwick when they ask for help. Our road crew goes up and helps the fire district when they have leaks in the past. So like, we do help East Hardwick.
Sure.
We're not totally, like, it hurts to hear that,
No,
because we are.
I'm talking about the public works part of it. I mean, like the bigger picture.
I get that.
No, we need a public
So
works
we
director.
We're hiring.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
that,
No, I know you guys
No.
are there, and I see,
yeah,
I
Oh,
see,
yeah, okay, thank
you know, I see the police department there, I'm grateful. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I'm not saying that you don't do anything. for
no,
certain.
you might not be, but I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot.
Yeah,
That,
no, you're there, I
Right.
feel like you're there.
Not everyone's as nice as you are when they come to the meetings.
but anyways,
Oh, gosh.
I just want to say that.
Okay,
So it's,
I'm gonna move us along.
To all those folks.
This is a good discussion, thank you.
Those have had enough. We're clearing the room.
Clear the
Yeah, he's
room.
not really worked up anymore, so.
Oh, jeez. All right.
All right,
so-
thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna move us on to, select board reports, new business, old business. Sherry, this is your section.
I know, right? And I just, yeah.
I would bring up the bike lane stuff.
Well, the Sharrows.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that, because I don't know the proper protocol, because it's class 2 highway. So
Well, isn't it in that study, the thing with the
that's a local study. So there's,
local motion thing?
yeah, that's like a local study paid for by the town. There's state statute that says that all class 2 highways must be painted. And I don't know a way around that. I'd have to talk to a lawyer and find out what the process
Oh,
would
you
be
mean the striping on the
on
center?
North Main Street.
Yeah.
What we talked about from,
Right.
in order to create that,
The loop. And as far as the painting goes, it's gonna be similar to painting the sidewalk up on South Main Street. It's like, these guys can't do that. They can't paint a bike lane. We don't have the equipment to do that.
No.
So I'm just,
But those Sharrows are just like a
They just go in the.
thing, a decal thing that just supposedly reminds people to share the road.
Okay.
Sharrow.
so,
With the bikes. And we get a grant based on the connector loop thing?
yes, yes. But as
So
far as not
don't we
painting
have
a
to
yellow.
do that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
As-
I get the yellow lines.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want you to,
I mean,
To
if
know
we
that.
can't do it, we can't do it, but,
Yeah.
it was part of the recommendations, but the Sharrow thing, I just wanna make sure that we do the things that we got grant money for, so that we don't have,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
issues with
And we-
not fulfilling our part of the,
right. We currently do not have a loop, because we don't have a bridge.
right.
But,
But at the point when we have a bridge,
Then we do
we're
the
gonna
loop.
need
Which will
to
be-
create that loop.
Yeah,
in the fall, we're gonna have
'Cause-
to do in the fall.
That was the deal that we made to get that
Agreed.
other USDA money
agreed.
for that project.
But I know that you
Back in the day.
had sent that email for old business. I just wanted to clarify it and just make
Yeah,
sure
it's-
that.
yeah.
We can, do you have a decal for a bike decal?
No.
We can probably get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't get the one that the state got, because they wore off in about 20 minutes
That
or
was the
whatever.
paint.
That
The
was,
paint.
yeah, whatever they did
Well,
wasn't,
it's probably gonna be the
wasn't the
same
right thing.
paint, Sherry. It's
Yeah.
just water-based paint,
Well, why does anybody use that? I don't get it.
because it dries quick. If we used oil-based, we'd probably do half a crosswalk a day, probably.
Yeah,
They should make asphalt tattoos.
I just,
We could do tattoos.
They do,
like
they-
it was like a
There's
big
$1 million
decal type thing, yeah.
All right,
All right,
Yeah,
Other-
there's those
The
things.
EPA might have something to say about that one.
yeah.
okay, you.
I don't know. He talked about the townhouse stuff.
Yeah.
We're working on it. The townhouse is, the season has started. I think Vermont Stage is there tomorrow doing a little something and during the day. There's a lot going on, but,
Hardwick's a happening place.
my mother was in the hospital this week and I can't keep track of anything. So, yeah, no, I don't have it in my, I didn't make a list, so
All right,
you're gonna be spared.
okay. All right. Wake up. Yes, Tanya.
Can I just remind everybody that tax due date is coming up? It'll actually be May 12th.
Tenth.
It's not the 10th?
It's Saturday,
Oh, the 10th is a Saturday, so you're gonna accept them on the 12th.
on the 12th, and we'll be open 7:30 to 4:30 on the 12th. And then the Friday before, where we normally close at 11:30, will actually be open until 3:30. on the
Yeah, and this is the date that you have to do
This is
it
the
by,
date that you have to.
because this is the last one.
Yes. Oh, and we do accept postmarks, but May 10th is the postmark acceptance date still, because mail stuff on Saturday.
And stakes are high if you miss the date.
That's right,
Yeah.
9%.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, substantial.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for the reminder. Any other select board reports, new business, old business? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 1 VSA 313 for a loan contract discussion to include, Vittles Cafe,
So moved.
and, the town manager,
And the business man.
and the business manager.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Aye. Opposed?
Are we going
Good,
downstairs?
so, sorry, that's a good question.